It's Friday afternoon. It's a restaurant expert roundup. I've got a man who's in a place with a lot of knowledge up at the NRA show who wrote this book. We're going to talk to Bruce in a second. We'll be back in a minute. Bruce, my man, how is Chi-Town?
Oh, Chicago's wonderful. I'm back at the NRA show, first time I think in 5 years.
Yeah, I went 3 years ago, I think. So what's the energy like up there? I'm guessing there's probably big crowds.
Well, it doesn't start till tomorrow, so I'm at a kind of a pre-show seminar today. But I can tell you, just walking around, there's a lot of people are excited to see humans for a change.
Awesome. So I guess tell everybody who you are. I know you because you wrote this amazing freaking restaurant book about numbers, and I'm not good at numbers. But tell everybody else who you are and about the book.
My name is Bruce Nelson. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. I work as a CFO for Nova Restaurant Group. And as Matt has mentioned, I'm the author of Restaurant Management, The Myth, the Magic, and the Math.
The math, baby. So talking about math, what got my attention, why I reached out for another interview, because we've talked a few times, was Restaurant 365. You made a post probably a month or two ago about how I think you revolutionized what you were doing. It connected a lot of dots. So before we dig into what it did, tell me what Restaurant 365 is, because if you're talking about it, I need to know what the hell it is, and my people need to know.
Okay, Restaurant 365 is an all-inclusive accounting and analytical software. So most restaurants, especially independent restaurants, will have multiple tools that manage their business. Everybody's familiar with the point-of-sale system that gathers sales data, payroll data at the store level. And then there's usually some kind of an intermediate tool where we analyze our business. It could be an Excel spreadsheet or a series of Excel spreadsheets. It could be some other standalone product that will manage your inventory and give you some information on how you run your business that way. And then there's the accounting, which is how we pile all that together to make financial statements. It's what we have to report to IRS, et cetera. Well, Restaurant 365 did 5-6 years ago is they said, hey, let's put all the data into one bucket. So instead of having some data reside at the POS and some data reside at your analytical tool and some at your accounting, let's make it all draw from the same bucket.
That seems logical that it would all come there. Now, when you say data, are you talking about purchase history, what's on your shelves, your losses, everything, financial?
Everything. So everything comes into 365 from the point of sale system. So every sales item sold, every dollar taken, every credit card, every tip issued, as well as all purchases. So every food invoice, wine invoice, beer, comes into the system all into one bucket. So at the store level, the managers who are making your day-to-day decisions are drawing on the same information that I'm putting together as a CFO for financial statements. So just to tell you how we got here, Matt, when I came to the NRA show in 2016, it was to find a solution, because back then I was using a POS system that was separate. I created a couple of kind of proprietary programs that interface that POS to QuickBooks, which was our accounting system at the time, and we were analyzing stuff on a day-to-day basis with Excel. None of those data sets were the same. Okay. Based on what was happening in the store, if you can imagine, if you're just grabbing a snapshot of data at any given point in time, yes, you can make an accurate data transfer. However, restaurants are dynamic. You come in tomorrow and you realize that the dishwasher didn't punch out. Well, we got to go back and we got to change that punch out to the right time. Well, now whatever labor I grabbed yesterday was not accurate. So we were really frustrated. We just could not get the same set of information my store managers were deciding on to equal what I was telling the owners our actual profitability were. So that was what set me on the mission to find this solution.
And that's
So
got to
now,
be a frustrating thing if you're a GM, or you're a KM and you're paid a certain way. There's bonuses, there's different
right.
metrics you want to hit, and you're like, hey, I'm here, and Bruce is like, no, you're here.
Exactly. And that's what would happen is they're going off of data saying, hey, I'm going to make my labor bonus this month. And then I would give them the reality and they'd say, well, what's wrong? And it really, it was frustrating for me because instead of applying all the tools that I give you in that book, I spent my time being a detective.
Yep.
When data didn't work, I had to find out why. Okay, who messed up? Who made a change? What happened here? And now I can just, I can work the magic, if you will, with accurate data.
And I can appreciate that, because one thing that we work on our side is how do we help marketing data go to the same place so that you can use it better. I mean, I was talking to a restaurant the other day that got a 19 pizza order, and it came in, went to the point of sale, and I happened to be there because I said the other day, it was like 4 or 5 months ago. I was working a part-time shift, kind of just testing things out and just watching what the restaurant world was like from the other side. And I'm looking at him like, okay, well, what will you do with this now that you know that this company or this 19-piece order? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, this isn't a mom and a dad ordering pizza for their kids. He's like, yeah, we looked at it. We looked up the email. We looked at their website. And I'm like, this is a 500-person firm down the street. Like, this is an order that could happen, but they had a gap in collecting data in the point of sale and being able to segment it for marketing purposes. So I can appreciate how to identify having a bunch of stuff going to almost like a bridge that falls into the river that's not finished.
Exactly. Well, you get it on the marketing side because we're, the other frustrating thing with restaurants is aggregating data on marketing.
Yep.
So what we're doing is the same thing on the finance side. Just how do we get it all into one bucket so I can then parse it out and get what's important and make decisions today.
So
what I need to do today.
So let's go backwards. We get in the DeLorean. We go back to the time machine. We're in McCormick Place. That's what it's called, right? McCormick Place?
Yep.
We're in McCormick Place. It's 2016. There's like 4,000 booths there.
Yep.
What was it that caught your attention about Restaurant 365?
It's kind of a funny story. I was presenting a seminar out in Santa Fe, and I met a guy out there that was selling a competing software, and I really thought I was going there to learn more about that software. And I'd done some research about it, and I wanted to go to the show, to see him and to really get a feel for, did I have the right solution? And when I walked through the show, that guy had left that company and was selling for 365. So it was like, of course, that raises my attention. Said, 3 months ago, you said you were the cat's meow. What happened? And he said, well, I couldn't tell you 3 months ago, but I was out the door because I saw what these guys were doing, and they were solving the problems that my current provider couldn't.
Yeah.
So he jumped ship, and that's how I got it. It was really kind of interesting.
Okay, so as we look at today, what has it helped you do? What has it meant to your company to leverage that software to make life easier and make more money?
Well, what it did is it took really good operating managers, which we had, and helped educate them to be good financial managers. And we did that by using a tool in 365 with their budget. It has a really powerful budgeting tool. So we would lay out our monthly, quarterly, and annual budgets in 365, and we totally revamped our comp plan. So managers would get a base salary plus a quarterly bonus, and some even get an annual bonus based on performance. So this tool, was able to show them exactly what the budget was and where they were day to day on whether or not they were staying on track. So we really were able to help educate good operations people to also become good business managers using this tool. And by rewarding them for being successful, our profits grew 3 times just in 1 year. It was amazing, the turnaround just with that one singular move.
Knowing the numbers is half the battle, right? And if they're wrong, And
Right.
it's got to be fun. We had an issue here a couple weeks ago. It's kind of a comical one. We do a thing every Friday called the Money Bucket with a division of our company where people throughout the week accomplish tasks. They get to have their name put in there. We have a bucket full of money and they pick out of it. And it's a big hoorah. Well, one of the guys is like, I'm supposed to be in there. I read the line wrong. He had 4 pulls. I'm like, hey, Ryan's got 2. And he's like, no, I got 4. And I'm like, I don't blame me. Blame Sierra, the data you put in. And I just read the line wrong. They went and looked at the dashboard we have developed for this. It's all automated. It comes from a text we do every day. And it said 4. And she's like, dumbass, you just read the wrong line. I'm like, oh, my bad. But it was funny because that little moment like turned into, and that's just to pull out of a thing and maybe get a $50 bill.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who might be married with kids, and that bonus is the vacation. It's like, bam, now I don't have it because I have the wrong data I've been working off of.
Exactly. And it's amazing out there in the restaurant world how many owners will say they have a bonus program, but it's really not defined. Ours is, and it's paid out, so many weeks after the close of a quarter, and it's now been going on for so long. It is guaranteed. Nobody has to worry. We're not going to do it. And nobody shows up to the end of the quarter and doesn't know where they are already. Yeah. They don't need me to even come tell them.
And that's a key element, because I think one thing we as business owners sometimes don't have is we might have the data, but we don't look at it correctly and analyze it. I was having a conversation today with a friend of mine who's an owner of a business, and she had asked me some advice on marketing, on ads on Facebook. And I said, well, don't you have a company that helps you with that? It's a different business than a gym business. She's like, well, yeah, we got rid of them then. We quit using their service. Why? Well, it wasn't working in money. I said, well, give me the numbers. And she gave me the numbers. I looked at the numbers. She texted me and I called her and I said, if I'm looking at these numbers correctly, you need to rehire that company. She's like, why? And I started breaking them down. I said, if you look at these numbers, this is the upfront cost. This is the upfront money you got. And then this is the lifetime value of that customer. It's a gym. And when we kind of broke it down and looked at it, I said, you've got the numbers. You just got to dig deeper sometimes. And for her case, there's not a software like this, but for restaurants, we run across it all the time that it's not, sometimes it's black and white, but you still got to look at it.
Exactly. We're using the tool to even dig in deeper now with labor.
Okay.
I started a whole new project where now we're looking at labor as a form of productivity versus just a percent. Okay. And we don't need to dig deep into that, but it was, because the tool is grabbing all the important pieces of information I need, not only dollars spent on labor, but customer counts, customer dollars spent per customer. We're able to then, start parsing labor data out and make better scheduling decisions as well.
Okay. So I got a labor question then. So this is something that just hit me this past week. We're in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, down there for a team retreat for part of our company. Walk into a pizza restaurant. I don't know you guys aren't in pizza, are you?
We're building one now. In fact, that's why I'm here. I'm looking for delivery.
So
delivery.
We go into this pizza restaurant. It's empty. Empty. And we've been in the area for 2 days, 2.5 days. We had eaten many times, no issues. We walk in the pizza place, like it's a 30-minute wait. I'm looking around. Of course, I kind of can connect the dots of why. She's like, we only have 4 servers. I said, okay. And so we don't want to wait 30 minutes. There's 100 restaurants within, a mile.
Right.
So we walk out the door and there's a pizza place I had remembered being around this corner. So we go down to there and we walk in, and this pizza place last time I was there was a pizza place like that. You get a server, you sit down, you get your pizza, your drinks. And on the way there, ironically, one of my managers who's with me, who's in charge of our tech team, says, that's an occurrence where they could have avoided that. I said, what do you mean? He goes, it's pizza. It's pizza and Coke and soft drinks. Like, we don't need a server. We don't need 500 people waiting on us. Why not just have a code, order your pizza, sit down, here's your cups, and let it happen? Sure enough, we go to this other pizza place, which I had eaten at before, amazing pizza, and we walk in, and they had changed. You walk up to a counter now, and you order your pizza. She hands you your drinks. You sit down, and the pizzas come out. There's no more server. And so here's an instance where one restaurant adapted because of the labor shortage using technology. The other one is doing the same old thing. How do you, as a person in your position, because you've owned restaurants, you've worked in restaurants, and now you manage the financial aspect, now you got a pizza place you're building up. How do you analyze that to say, hey, there's a labor crunch. what can I replace with technology, but not affect the experience the customer has?
Well, we're starting right out the bat with technology on this one. For that reason, it's going to be a similar concept where I think I got only 50 seats in-house. Most of our model is going to be sending pizza out the door,
Yep.
Either by takeout or driving delivery.
Okay.
And we're anticipating right off the bat that this thing has to be tech-driven to the point where, you had to go wait in line to order that pizza. We're hoping that you can just go grab that table and just place your order right there at the table, because we don't want that bunching at the line. Think about it. You're in line to order pizza, so you're there to spend your money. Well, there might be somebody, 3 or 4 people back, already ordered online, already paid for it. Now he's stuck behind you.
Yep.
And he's wants to come in and get his pizza and get out of there. So we're focusing on how to manage those three aspects. We want you to be able to sit down, eat, and order more food. And for instance, the case you're talking about, you went up and ordered your drinks and food, right?
Yep.
And you went and sat down. You probably already paid for it, right?
Yep.
Well, if you can order at the table, guess what? You might order another beer, right?
Yeah.
You may be sitting there going, hey, I'm still a little hungry. You know what? Remember those desserts?
Yeah.
Your tab's still open, so you can still go order those items.
I like it.
So we're kind of playing with that. But then the big thing is on the delivery side. Everybody's ordered a pizza from one of the big chains, and or getting online ordering down so it's easy and tells you what's going on with your food is pretty key. So that's what I'm here in Chicago to find is the best delivery application where that customer can get that experience by ordering online. They'll see, okay, my pizza's in the oven. All right, my pizza's in the car, and it's driven by John, and he's in a red Prius, and he's going to be here in 5 minutes. So we're really focusing on that part of the technology so we get that really good customer experience.
The only problem is he's in a red Prius, not an orange one.
You're right.
So how long are you up in Chicago?
I'll be here till Sunday evening. I fly home Sunday.
Cool. Fly home Sunday, and I'm guessing Restaurant 365 has a booth there. Is there a cardboard cutout of Bruce Nelson holding the book and saying, this book and this software will help your restaurant?
No, there's not at the booth. However, I did do an interview with them today.
Oh, nice.
For the 365 for their show experience. So maybe I'll be streamed on their TV.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out to talk to us. I know you got some things going on there. This is a good place that people can keep up with you, right? BruceNelson.substack.com. You just started putting some content out there a few months ago, right?
I did. I started writing some articles. I try to get something out every week. It's been a little bit slow this month. I'm actually recording an audio version of the book you have in your hand. So
nice.
My goal is to get it all complete by the end of May, and then it'll be up on Audible when the editing magicians get done with it. Awesome.
Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you taking some time out to come talk to us and tell the folks at 365. I don't know if I've met anybody from there. So if you got somebody I need to know there, let me know. We can get them on, talk to them, and find out everything they're hearing from the show.
You know what? I'll talk to some of the key people. Let's get somebody on for you.
Cool. Love it. Thanks, Bruce.
All right. Take care, man.
Bye.